My seedlings are getting to the stage where it's time to transplant. They have put in true leaves and are requiring more room and water. This is a critical stage in a plant's life. Leaving them in the seedling medium will slow their development and in the case cause the stems to rot and the plant to die. So transplanting indoor seedlings into larger pots is necessary for the plants to thrive. Transplanting is a stressful process for plants, and though it is good for the survival of the plant, the process itself is wrought with dangers. If not careful, the seedling can be dropped, the roots can be torn, and worse, the tiny stems can bend or break. In fact, transplanting is one of those times where you will find only the strong and fortunate are able to survive. I also use the process to eliminate some of the smaller specimens. Weeding out the weaker plants makes more room for the vigorous to grow. So be gentle and caring of your plants during this process. At the same time, be merciless. One of the issues I've run into is not enough 3-inch pots to transplant all the tender annuals. The other thing that I have been thinking about is the seedlings ultimately are going to end up in the backyard beds or a 1-gallon container. So after some research, I decided to make my own pots out of newspaper. The advantages being, they are cheap, you can make as many as you need. When you transplant into the ground or larger pots, I don't need to remove the plant from the newspaper pot because the paper will decompose. Making the pots is a great craft project for the kids. You will need a can and some newspaper. Cut the newspapers into strips wider than the can by a couple of inches. Place the can on one end of the newspaper strip. Leave those couple of inches on one side of the can, and enough room for your fingers to grip the can when you remove it from the new pot. Roll the pot down the newspaper strip, making the paper wrap around the can. Fold the extra paper in at the seam, fold the opposite side in, then fold the two sides in around the can. Remove the can. I place the can back into the cup just to pound down a little bit of the extra paper in there. The transplanting process is easy. Make sure that you have the time to do all the work in one sitting. This will increase the plant's chance of survival. Just by repetition of the work, you will get better and better at it. First, lightly water the plants. Fill your transplanting pot about halfway with soil. Pinch the sides of your seedling pot to loosen the soil. Lightly knock the bottom of the seedling pot with the flat of your palm. Then work the seedling out of the pot, being careful of the stem, roots, and leaves. Place the plant into the new pot and carefully backfill the soil. Place it in a tray. Lastly, I suggest adding a tag to the new transplant to identify what it is. I use popsicle sticks and a Sharpie to write the type of plant and the species. After you've completed the transplanting, move them to a safe place and water lightly. If the plant stems are crooked or at an angle, you can straighten them carefully by poking at the base of the plant with your finger to straighten them up. Just be careful not to bend or twist the stem. Watch the plants grow for the next couple of days. Water them when it's needed. You'll see your transplant bound to life. Their growth over the next couple of weeks will be compounding.